From Carlos ditching his longtime coach over his girlfriend, to how this sets him up for failure in the future, this is how Carlos Yulos is ruining his career. Carlos Yulos made headlines recently after securing a ticket to the 2024 Paris Olympics for his efforts in the floor exercise at the 2023 Artistic Gymnastics World Championships at the Sports Paleis in Antwerp, Belgium on Sunday, October 1st. But what was unexpected was Carlos achieving this milestone without his longtime Japanese coach, Munehiro Kugamiya. For those in the know, this was a bit of a shock. Carlos and his coach had been closely working together for years, and their separation came as a surprise. Cynthia Carrion, the gymnastics chief, gave us some more insight in a recent interview. She talked about how Carlos had a rough time in the vault. She didn't think he should continue after a bad fall, but Carlos, ever the fighter, decided to push through. Unfortunately, this didn't go too well, and he couldn't finish his second run. The setback really hit Carlos hard. Carrion mentioned he was quite upset afterward, and anyone would be in that situation. After this, Carlos was understandably upset. Carrion mentioned planning a heart-to-heart with him, especially with the floor exercise finals looming. Now, because of these ups and downs, Carlos, who was once seen as a top contender for gold in Paris, now faces a tougher path. He's got to ace the men's all-around event at the Asian Championships in Doha next year to clinch his Olympic ticket. The top 8 finishers in the men's individual all-around qualifiers at the Worlds automatically earn slots in the Paris Games. An anonymous source from the Gymnastics Association of the Philippines shared some insights into Carlos' situation. They revealed that the decision was influenced by personal matters. Kugamiya, known for his strict discipline, had reportedly urged Carlos to focus more on his training. This became complicated due to Carlos' relationship with his Filipino-Australian girlfriend, Chloe San Jose, who was said to have encouraged him to spend more time with her. This dynamic reportedly became disruptive to Carlos' training and his successful partnership with his coach. When San Jose went to Tokyo to spend time with Carlos while he was training, it seems to have added to the strain. The source mentioned that Carlos resented his coach's interference in his personal life, leading to their split as early as the Asian Championships in Singapore last June. The source added that Kugamiya, respecting privacy, chose not to make these issues public. However, they noted that the coach is open to reuniting with Carlos to help revive his career, which is perceived to have taken a hit, and we've already seen glimpses of that. For the first time since 2019, he failed to secure a medal at the World Championships. Fans and observers are pointing to the coaching change as a major factor in this disappointing outcome. In the men's floor event, he managed to reach the finals but ended up in 4th place. But it wasn't just about not winning a medal. Carlos' performance in the vault was particularly notable. He even had a tough fall, landing flat on his back during an attempt. It was a moment that visibly showed the struggle he was facing. In the men's individual all-around, Carlos' performance was far from what fans have come to expect. He ended up in the 59th position, the last place, with just 67.765 points. This was especially evident in the men's rings and vault apparatus at the Sport Paleis. The rings were particularly tough for him. His performance there was one of his lowest, ranking 90th out of 93, with a score of just 11.566. The vault event brought more challenges. Still sore from his fall in the rings, Carlos struggled in his first run on the vault, scoring only 6.766. The pain from his earlier fall was too much, and he couldn't complete the event. It was a stark contrast to his gold medal win in the 2021 edition in Kitakyushu, Japan. Despite these setbacks, Carlos did have some strong moments. He scored 14.6 points in the floor exercise, finishing 3rd overall. His performances in the pommel horse, parallel bars, and high bar were respectable, with scores of 13.2, 14.666, and 13.0 respectively. The impact of Carlos' decision to part ways with his coach, Munehiro Kugamiya, has become a topic of much discussion. Many believe that at 23 years old, Carlos perhaps made a hasty decision to cut ties with Munehiro, who had been a calming and strict guide in his career. His recent performances seem to reflect the absence of Munehiro's influence. Fans and supporters are voicing their opinions, many suggesting that Carlos should return to Japan to reset his training as he prepares for the 2024 Paris Olympics. It's a crucial time for him to refocus and regain his form if he aims to compete at the highest level in Paris. In Antwerp, Carlos was accompanied by Filipino tactician Aldrin Castañeda. Now, Castañeda isn't new to Carlos' journey. He was his coach back when Carlos was a junior. Carlos mentioned that while there's a sense of familiarity with Castañeda, the change in coaching still brings its own set of advantages and challenges. Meanwhile, Kugamiya is now at the helm of the Japanese Cultural Grassroots Project, an initiative backed by the Japanese embassy in the Philippines. They aim to create more athletes like Carlos Yulos. Kugamiya spoke about gymnastics being the foundation of virtually all sports and the importance of making it accessible from a young age. This is a big step forward for the program. Kugamiya has played a crucial role in donating Olympic standard equipment to GAP, led by President Cynthia Carrion. This equipment, worth millions of pesos, was provided courtesy of the Japanese government. What's even more fascinating is that most of this equipment was used during the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. That means young gymnasts in the national pool are now training with gear that's of the highest international standard. Now, Carlos has undoubtedly become a prominent figure in gymnastics, thanks to his incredible talent and the guidance of several key people, including his former coach, Kugamiya. But there's a sense of uncertainty now, with many wondering if he can maintain or even improve on his already impressive achievements, especially with these new challenges. One aspect that's been affected is his communication with his family. Close members of his clan have noted that the communication isn't as strong as it used to be. Family support can be a crucial factor for athletes, especially in times of change or stress, so this shift might be impacting Carlos more than we realize. Despite the severed ties with Coach Kugamiya, it seems there's still a glimmer of hope for a possible reunion. Kugamiya, having spent many years with Carlos, hasn't completely closed the door on him. He still harbors hope that Carlos can continue to grow not just as an athlete, but also as a person who shows respect to others in all aspects of his life. I want to leave you with a question that's been on my mind and probably on yours too. Did Carlos Yulos make the right choice in changing coaches, or will this decision come back to bite him? Let's break this down. Carlos' most significant achievements in gymnastics came under the guidance of his former coach, Munehiro Kugamiya. Together, they formed a dynamic duo, with Kugamiya's strict discipline and Carlos' natural talent leading to impressive victories on the world stage. This partnership was a crucial factor in Carlos' rise to fame in the sport. However, since the coaching change, we've seen a different side to Carlos' performances. His recent stint at the World Championships without Kugamiya didn't go as planned. He faced setbacks, including missing the all-around final and experiencing falls that were uncharacteristic of his previous form. The decision to change coaches, especially at a critical point in an athlete's career, is monumental. It's not just about adapting to a new training style or philosophy. It's also about building a new rapport and understanding with someone who plays a significant role in an athlete's development. The comfort and confidence that come from a long-standing coach-athlete relationship can be hard to replicate quickly with someone new. Even if that person isn't entirely new to the athlete, given the recent outcomes and considering how much of his success was attributed to his partnership with Kugamiya, it's hard not to view the change as a negative, at least in the short term. It raises questions about whether Carlos can regain his top form under his new coach, and whether the shift might have been premature or ill-timed. Of course, sports are unpredictable, and athletes often face periods of adjustment that can lead to eventual growth. The real test for Carlos will be how he navigates this period of change and whether he can use these experiences to evolve as an athlete. So, from how this sets him up for failure in the future, to Carlos ditching his longtime coach over his girlfriend, this was how Carlos Yulos is ruining his career.